All right, what's up guys? VV back with another video. And in today's video, we got a fun one lined up for you. You see on the screen here. Yep, that's right. That is ST04 Purple Kaido. That's right. One of the original starter deck leaders we're going to be messing around with in today's video. So without any further ado, guys, we're going to hop right into this. This is meant to be a more chill, lighthearted video. I'm not saying that this is not a video trying to suggest that I've broken the meta with a new leader or something like that, or bringing an old leader back or whatever. No, this is just meant to be a fun video. Okay, guys? So let's do this, guys. Let's get right into it. First things first, we're going to head over to the deck list. We'll break that down. After that, we'll go over to the sim. We got 5 games to go over on the sim, and then after that, we'll recap and we'll talk about it. I'll give you guys my ideas about this leader moving forward. Okay, as usual, I'll have everything time-stamped in the general description, and I'll have all relevant deck lists and links and stuff like that in the comments section below. If you guys have any comments, questions, or suggestions, please do not hesitate to put those down in the comments section below, or hop on the VV Theory Discord. Link will be in the channel description. Now, let's do this, guys. Let's get right into it. We're going to break down the deck list first here, starting off with the leader. If you're a newer player, I always say this, guys. I got to get out of the way, though, up front here early. If you're a newer player, be sure to pause and read what these cards do if you don't know. I'm going to mouse over each one as we go over them. So this is the leader. Kaido, a 5,000 power, 5 life, purple leader with 4 Emperors and Animal Kingdom Pirates type, with the effect activate main once per turn, Dawn -7, okay? Trash one of your opponent's life cards. That's a lot of Dawn minus, right? To trash a life card there. This came out all the way back in Block 1, basically in Set 1, to be honest, because it was one of the first starter decks. It was not literally in OP01, the first set, but it was all the way back in the first starter deck, set that came out, if that makes sense. Okay, a little clumsy, but hopefully you understand what I'm saying. Now, for the deck, we're running 4 Black Maria, we're running 4 Usohachi, we're running 4 Mr. 2 Bancrei Bentham, running 4 Don Quixote Rosinante, running 4 Sanji, 4 of the 8-cost Katakuri, 4 of the 9-cost Linlin, 4 of the 9-cost Luffy, and 2 of the 10-cost Kaido. Very top-heavy deck here, guys. Notice what we're trying to do. Running 2 of the 0-cost event, Gum Gum Jet Gatling. Excuse me. Running 2 Blast Breath, 2 Hell's Judgment, and 2 Noro Beam Sword. Running 4, It's to Die For, and 4 God Thread. So what this deck is trying to do, I'm just trying to ramp to 8, 9, 10 Dawn as fast as I can, right? I just want to get to 8, 9, or 10 Dawn as fast as I can and start slamming down these massive characters. Because one thing I will say is this leader effect is a little bit outdated, or at least that's the way it feels. And all the way back in OP08, I feel like they tried to give this leader some support, or maybe just purple Animal Kingdom Pirates, Dawn minus stuff, some type of support. And it just never really was enough to help this leader. Like, maybe if they had turned Black Maria into a 3-cost character with a 2k counter like this, that had a, Animal Kingdom Pirates leader effect only, where it could only be used in Animal Kingdom Pirates, maybe then they could have buffed it to a Dawn +7, where you could just, basically use your Kaido for free later in the game. I'm talking about your Kaido, your leader Kaido's effect. Excuse me. Maybe if they had turned it into that, this leader would have had some potential. But you would think like, oh, but Dawn -5 is pretty good, right? Yeah, it's good, but when are you going to have the time to develop this character? That becomes the question. The character is really cool. The character is very strong, but when are you going to have the chance to develop a character like this? That became something I struggled with as I was trying out, when I was testing the deck out. If you guys have some ideas, of course, by all means, please put something in the comments section below. But what we're trying to do is, we have a 3 Dawn way to ramp with It's to Die For. We have a 4 Dawn way to ramp with Mr. 2 Bancrei Bentham. And we have a 5 Dawn way to ramp with God Thread. That is the main thing we're trying to do, is find one of those 12 cards, right? Because it's 3 different cards at 4 copies each. We just want to see It's to Die For, Mr. 2 Bancrei Bentham, or God Thread in our opening hand. That's what we're looking for, when we do our mulligan. We need some kind of ramp. After that, we just want to start slamming down these big bodies. Guys, it's a pretty straightforward, way to do things. It's not very complicated. It's not the most skill-intensive deck. But I will say this. The plan is very straightforward, but it does require some good fundamentals to pull off. Because this... how do I say this, guys? I'm trying to say this very delicately. The leader's not great. Okay, the leader effect is not great. It doesn't really do anything. And for a lot of the games I was playing, it felt like this was just a 5,000 power, 5 life Animal Kingdom Pirates type leader with no base effect. That's how a lot of games felt. Excuse me. Now, there were some games that came up, you'll see as we go over them, where the leader effects did actually have some purpose. It had some function to it. But in general, it felt like, okay, I'm probably going to get this leader effect off like one time, and then that's it. Okay? Now, one card that's going to help you out, these two cards right here are just incredible. Hell's Judgment, Dawn -1, give up to 2 of your opponent's leaders or characters minus 3,000 power for the turn. So, in other words, for 2 Dawn, you're going to Dawn -1, and you're going to give 2 of your opponent's characters or leaders, right, minus 3,000 power for the turn. This is a very powerful defensive event here. Same idea with Nora Beam Sword. Beam Sword is going to lock down their biggest attacker, right? So, really good stuff, usually, at least usually. Sometimes people are starting to play around this more now, guys, because I think this showed up in a blue-purple Luffy list. Excuse me, I think this showed up in some type of recent list, and people are starting to play around this more. Okay, and that's about it. The 2K counter package is pretty straightforward. We are still going to run Black Maria. We're running Yuso Hachi and the Sanji. We talked about the ramp. God Thread is just really nice right now because it removes a character and ramps. The Rosinante is nice, but I will say this. It didn't come up a lot in today's testing. I don't know if it's going to be great for this deck list. And if that is the case, then we might want to move away from some of these events because I was really trying to combo the Rosinante with some of these defensive events. And it really, really does not go well with something like this Kaido or even with the leader effect. So I will say that was like the one major weakness that this card had. Think of it like this, guys. If we don't have the Black Maria to combo with Rosinante, if we're on like a 10 Dawn turn and we do some type of, play out our turn, do everything we have to do for the turn, and then we do a Dawn -7 to rip one of our opponent's life cards, we're down to 3 Dawn. So again, if we don't have Black Maria on the board to go +5 Dawn to get back to 8, all of a sudden this Rosinante is not very good, right? Because now we're below 7 Dawn and we don't get the end of your turn effect. So this card's on the chopping block for sure. Excuse me. Guys, be thinking of something we can replace this card with down in the comment section below. Charlotte Linlin and 8-cost Katakuri, these cards are insane. I'm going to be honest, they kind of carried the deck. And seeing that we have this It's to Die For in here, maybe we take this in more of like a purple, Big Mom Pirates type of thing. And there is some support there. I will say that, guys. There is some support to look at there. There's a 1-cost event that can search up Big Mom Pirates or Animal Kingdom Pirates. This one here, it's called We're Going to Claim the One Piece. This is it's a 1-cost event. Activate in your main. If your leader has the Animal Kingdom Pirates or Big Mom Pirates type, look at 5 cards from the top of your deck and reveal up to 1 Animal Kingdom Pirates or Big Mom Pirates type card. So maybe there does become some idea, some logic here to run this event along with the 1-cost new searcher we got in OP11. Not this pudding. There's this one. This is the OP11 pudding searcher that came out with the purple Katakuri, where it allows us to do a top 5 search for a Big Mom Pirates type card. So there could be something here. Maybe it'll be worth messing around with this in the future. But this is the list we have for today. Excuse me. So the 9-cost Luffy here, this is just a great pressure card. We're running 4 of them. I just want to slam this card down right when I hit 9 Dawn and just start attacking face. It draws a card when it comes into play. It has a Dawn -1 effect, but we can't really manipulate that with anything on the board here. And who knows, guys, again, I'm starting to think about this more. If we remove these 4 Rosinantes and some of these events down here that we might not need, maybe these 6 events here. Well, I don't know, maybe just 4. We'll pick and choose, get rid of 4 of them. Excuse me, guys, my throat. We can probably go -4 Rosinante and -4 events to go +4 pudding, and then +4 of the 3-cost pudding, the 3-cost purple pudding. At the same time, pudding can't search up pudding, can it? So I don't know. We'll have to find something to do there, guys. We'll have to figure it out. Okay. So anyway, so that's the list, guys. And excuse me. There's one other card we're running here. We're running the big boy, guys. That's right. This is the main idea for running this leader, in my opinion, is having access to this Kaido while still having 5 life, on the leader. This Kaido, guys, comes down. It's a 10-cost 12K, Dawn -6, and then you KO the entire board except this one character. Ended up not being great most of the games. I think it came into play one time in all the testing. But we'll talk about it as we get into the games. Okay, that's it, guys. That's it for the deck list. Let's go ahead and check out this deck and see it in action. All right, so the first game up here, let me move my camera back. First game up is going to be against Green Yellow Trafalgar Law. So the volume is off, the speed is on 2x, and here we go. So we got 5 games for today, guys. We got Green Yellow Law, Blue Black Usopp, Black Yellow. I think this is Black Yellow something, guys. I can't even read it. BYL. What would that be? Hang on. Black Yellow Luffy. Excuse me. Black Yellow Luffy. I was like, wait, there's no way I played against a Black Yellow Linlin. I would have remembered that. And then we have a game versus Blue Yellow Nami, and then Blue Purple Hannyabal. That's right. Not Blue Purple Luffy, but Blue Purple Hannyabal. Okay. Now, real quick, I think we do prefer to go first. All right. Going second is fine because we do have a 4 Dawn wait. Like, we have a turn 2 ramp going. If we're going second, hang on. Actually, the more I'm thinking about this, I was trying to go first every game so I could go right into my 3-cost It's to Die For event. But I will say, if we're going second, then we have 2 different options on our turn 2. We can go It's to Die For 3 Dawn, or our 4-cost Mr. 2 Boncrate Bentham. So, guys, maybe I was playing this wrong the entire time after thinking about it. Because I was thinking, okay, if I miss my It's to Die For, I'll at least have my 5 Dawn God Thread to ramp a Dawn and remove a character. So I was thinking, okay, going first seems like the best play here. But going second might actually be a little bit better. We'll have to see. Tell me what you guys think in the comment section below. Okay, so we're going against Green Yellow Trafalgar Law. They're going to go turn 1 Bonnie Searcher, and let's see what they do next. Oh, excuse me. Then it was our turn 1. We have no turn 1 play here. We're just going to pass the turn. And I know some people are going to say, like, where's Onigashima in this list? Why aren't you running that? I didn't want to run that card. I did think about it. I just simply did not want to run that card. All right, so here we go. They're going to swing for, they do a search effect here with the Bonnie. They do a search effect with Kid and Killer, and they're going to swing for 5. We're going to take this. We don't really want to give them any of these cards in our hand right now. Okay, so now it's back to our turn. 4 Dawn turn. We're going to play out the Mr. 2 Boncrate Bentham, and I'm actually just going to swing 6 into that Searcher, guys. I don't want them to start building up a board. The way to beat Green Yellow Law, guys, is just don't let them have a board. Now, the other thing is they can take their own life cards whenever they need to, typically with their effects and stuff. So they're going to play out a Cavendish from their life effect. They're cheating out a Tashigi, attacking in for 6. Well, that's unfortunate because I had this entire turn built up around the idea of removing whatever big 5-cost card they played this turn with my God Thread. Well, the answer is still to God Thread, in my opinion. We'll just get rid of the Tashigi because we can't get rid of the Cavendish, right? And now we're going to swing for 6 using the Cavendish's power into the leader. And then we're going to swing 6 more with Kaido, trying to get 2K counters out of their hand. They're down to 2 life. We're leaving 2 Dawn active. And we do have a Hell's Judgment here to slow them down this turn. One nice thing about the monocolor leaders, guys, is having 5 life. Having 5 life is very nice. It's quite the cushion to go off of. Okay, they're going to swing into that. We're just going to let that go. It ate up an attack. We'll take it. They swing for 5. We're just going to give them a 1K counter here, and now it's back to our turn, and we're finally on a 10 Dawn turn. Okay, so now it's time to start clearing this board a little bit, and this is where 9-cost Linlin is so nice. We're going to swing 6 into 6 first here. I would love for them to give me the beige, but they're not going to give beige, right? That's not happening. So we're going to go 6 into 6. This is going to cost a blocker or a 1K counter from hand. Let's see what they choose to do. They only have 4 cards in hand because I'm not attacking their life at all. They're down to 2 life because they're taking their own life cards with effects, guys, okay? All right, so here we go. We're swinging 6 into 6. We're in 2x speed. They're having to really think hard about this because this is a very important decision, right? This is a very, very important decision. They're going to go ahead and 1K counter out with a Jory Bonnie from hand, the 3-cost. And now it's going to be slam down 9-cost Linlin. We'll go Dawn -1. We'll trash It's to Die For. I don't think we need that anymore. And now we're going to gain a life and push the only card we really can push back to life. I guess we could have pushed back the Tashigi because that's not a super... I don't believe that's a Supernova card. I'm pretty sure it's not. So we could have pushed back the Tashigi, but I'd rather get the blocker out of the way. Because in this situation here, if they try to attack him with Cavendish, I've got a 10,000 power body on the board ready to attack into it. Okay, so once I get the blockers out of the way, I don't have to worry about them. Okay, they're going to swing in for 6. We are going to give them a 2K. We're going to respect that attack here. They're going to go ahead and do a blind rip for the leader here, and it revealed a beige. They don't want to put the beige on the board, and I agree with that. I don't think that's a very wise decision. So they keep the beige up there. They're still at 3 life, right? They're still in a good spot, and they're developing their board with a Luffy into a Law, pulling back the Luffy, replaying a beige. Okay, interesting. I probably would have made a slightly greedier play there to replay out the 1-cost Luffy to play the beige over top of it to search and replace it and go from there, right? But here we go. They're going to swing. They swing for 8, 5, 7. A little bit weird attacking numbers there, but hey, they're going to swing for quite a bit here. And I think we're probably just going to... We might get out of this. No, we're going to take this one because we do have a 0-cost 3K. Okay. Here we go. So that Kaido is pretty worthless in this situation here, right? The 10-cost Kaido, because they have 2 different effects on their board that can protect their board. Okay, we're going to start off by swinging 6 into the Bonnie. I think then we're going to smash 9 into the 6 here. Actually, it looks like we might play out. Yeah, we're going to play out the Lin first because I don't want them to get extra value from that beige blocking out of this. I'm going to go 9 into 6, and they're probably going to give me the Trafalgar Law here. And do you guys see what I'm saying? So notice I even had a 3-cost Black Maria in my hand. I just don't have time for that. You know what I mean? I know that might sound a little bit crazy, but it's like with the way that One Piece works, with the way that the game flows, you don't have time to just try to do this Dawn -7 trick, unless it's going to give you game, obviously, right? If it's going to give you the what you need to win the game, that's different. So they're going to go ahead and swing in. They lock down my Lin. They play out the Law. They swing for 6. They have 5 life now. But here's the problem. We're not really worried about them getting to 5 life, right? We're actually getting to a point now where we don't really care, right? We don't care that they're getting to 5 life. So, because like we're starting to get such a massive board here, it's becoming very hard for them to deal with. So 5 into 6, 9 into 6. Are they going to be able to save this? They're not. Okay. Well, now, notice I'm thinking about throwing down God Thread right here, but I think the better play is to Dawn -1, play out this 9 cost, and swing for 10. Or, play out the 9 cost, then Dawn -1, draw a card, swing for 10, and now my board is massive. My board is massive. I do have some decent counter power in hand. I have the 0 cost 3K, and I have a 2K counter. They're going to play out the Luffy. And they are going to swing massive here, 11 into 9. Okay, we'll see what they choose to do here. We're going to have to give up the 0 cost 3K, and I think I give up the Hell's Judgment because I'm just trying to save this and maybe remove something next turn with God Thread. And we should be able to save one more character. Like, they can swing 9 and 9, so we can save one character here. Okay, let's see what they choose to do. Or they could just put everything on Law and go everything into my Luffy. Okay, they're going to go 9 into 11 there. 9 into 9. I'm going to 2K to get to 11. They're going to swing 9 into a 9, and we have to let that go. And here we go, guys. Now it's our turn. Here's our turn to try to make something happen. All right. Now, this is the situation. After everything's been said and done, after all things are said and done here, it's like, okay, now it would be nice to have Black Maria. But you just don't get to have that card at this point in the game. You have to use it for counter power to get to this point. All right, so we're going to go 10 into 6. I seriously doubt they're going to save this. And then, honestly, guys, I think we're just going to go 5 on the Charlotte Lin. Yep, and then use God Thread to get rid of the Tashigi. We're going 13 into 9. This would take a 2K, 2K, 1K just to get out of this. I don't think they're going to have it. And then that would take every card in hand. If all 3 of their cards in here right now are 2K, 2K, and 1K. And then we can play out the God Thread to remove the Tashigi, and then we pretty much win the board at that point. Excuse me. They're going to go and tap out. I was going to say, I actually do remember this part. They go ahead and tap out. They only had a 2K, 1K. They had a Hody Jones, though. So I think they left a little bit early. But what we were going to do in this situation here is with the remaining 5 Dawn, we're just going to use God Thread to remove the Tashigi, get one more body off the board, and go from there. I think they left a little bit early, but I do understand why they left, right? It was in that situation. By the way, look at what our top card was. We were going to, if they played out Hody Jones, we were going to get another 9-cost Luffy off the top, and then our top 2 life cards are both 8-cost categories. So we were in a very good position there. Tough spot for our opponent to be in. And once we get set up with this leader, guys, if we can build a good enough control package where we can get set up with this leader with a Black Maria on the board, well, now all of a sudden we can start ripping their life and play like a control deck. But that's kind of the tough part. Okay, good game to my opponent. That was against Green Yellow Law. Now let's go into a game against Blue Black Usopp. Okay, haven't seen this leader in a while. And let me just warn everybody. I tried to already warn everyone, right before that first game. I'm not going against a lot of meta leaders because this is very much an off-meta leader. Okay, all right. I do think. Let me pause real quick and explain that. When it comes to, like, the different tiers in this game, I think there's, like, the very top tier, right? Let's just call it S tier. Well, I think S tier decks and A tier decks, which is right under S, like S tier being the top, A tier being right under that, I think decks that are within a tier of each other can typically battle against each other and do pretty well, right? So, like, an S tier deck is probably, that's considered the best deck in the format, but an A tier list can take games off of an S tier list, typically speaking. And a B tier list can probably take games off of an A tier list, typically speaking. Well, guys, I think Kaido's probably in that C range, maybe middle of the pack B range. So I'm not trying to go for any of the top meta matchups, okay? So y'all bear with me with that stuff. You got to be understanding, okay? All right, now, so back to this game. We end up going first. We have nothing. They're going second. They have a very strong turn 1 play, going Leo into Rebecca, double searchers, massive hand fixing here, and it's back. It's going to be back to our turn for a 3 Dawn turn. Now, we do have a way to ramp. Okay, but look at our hand, guys. Our hand is massive for the late game. But for the right here and now, that is not a good hand, right? Okay, that is not a good hand. We don't have anything we can do right now. We don't have a single counter in hand. We don't have a single Dawn open for our counter event. There's nothing we can do. We're completely vulnerable at this point. However, it is early enough in the game where it doesn't matter too much, right? Hopefully when we take this leader hit here, assuming they attack with their leader, hopefully when we take this leader hit here, we can draw to something decent. Okay, swing for 5. We take it. It's a Black Maria. I guess it's better than nothing, but it's not really what we're going for, right? It would have been very nice to get Rosinante in that situation, or a God Thread, or something like that. Okay, maybe not even God Thread in this situation. There's nothing to hit. But okay, so we have 6 Dawn, so we're going to swing for 5. They're just going to block and draw a card. I did have to get the blocker out of the way there, so I swing in. They get to draw a card. We're going to play out Black Maria, and we're just going to pass with 3 Dawn active. I guess technically we should have swung for 6, but again, I knew they were going to block. They had 5 or less cards in hand. They're going to draw every time there and get an Idio in their trash for their Frankie later on. Okay, they're going to develop a Zoro here, getting rid of my Black Maria. That's unfortunate. I had a feeling something like that was going to happen, but we had to try something, right? We had no other plays in hand. Excuse me. So we're going to play out the Katakuri, the 8-cost Katakuri. And watch this. Wait, why didn't I block, guys? Swing for 5. Why didn't I block? So you guys probably couldn't see all the searches I did. I don't even know if I revealed all of them on the right. Like, you know, sometimes if you mouse over the cards, they'll show on the right. I know that they have a Rebecca Kairos in hand, and I'm not trying to lose these cards from my hand. So I counter out of one attack, and then I block the, and then I, then I take the other. I'm down to 2 life. I knew they had that play coming, and I didn't want them to swing 10 into my 8, and then I have to give them more cards from hand. Like that was what we were trying to avoid. And Corda Coliseum doesn't give the character rush into my leader, only into other characters. Okay, so here we go. So we have a nice 8,000 power attack into a 6 here. They're going to go and let that go. They don't get to draw a card because they have 5 less cards in hand. We make a slight play mistake here on sequencing. We swing for 5. They're going to counter to get down to 5 cards, and then watch this. Then we play out the 9-cost Lin to push one of these Zoros back to hand. I'm thinking, oh man, why did I do that? I should have played this out first. But hey, it is what it is. That was strictly a sequencing mistake. They should not have got to draw an extra card there. And now it's the end of the turn. I stand at my Katakuri, and here we go. And here we go. So guys, they're going to swing for 5. I think we do have a Blast Breath here, so I think we're just going to 2K this one. We might just take the Kairos hit and then just see what they have from there. Again, I'm just not trying to turn that Katakuri sideways right now. Okay, watch this, guys. We got a spicy turn lined up here, guys. I remember this game now. They play out the 10-cost Kuzan. They're like, all right, next turn, I'm about to... Yeah, the Usopp's like, all right, next turn, I'm about to tear this dude up, right? I'm like, all right. I might have something to say about that. I can't let them have that board, guys. They're not allowed to have that board right there. That is a 9K, a 10K. All my cost is reduced by 5. They're going to be able to hit anything pretty much in this deck with a Zoro. Okay, so here we go. Let's see how we choose to deal with this. What do you guys think I'm going to do? On a 10 Dawn turn, what do you guys think I'm going to do? Excuse me. We're going to swing for 5, 8, 9. Okay, that should take them down to 2. Now, I will say this. Something unfortunate happens in a minute here. All right, we're going to swing for 8. I was considering other options. I was like, nah, I just need to do this now. Swing 8, swing 9, play out the Kaido, rip the board. And guys, they're just like, you know what? I don't want to play this game anymore. The game was not over, though. The game was not over. They had a very easy way to get back in this game. Remember, when I use Kaido, that's a Dawn -6. So I'm going to go down to 4, back up to 6 for my next turn. And I can't do anything with that. I can't really do anything afterwards. I mean, I do have Black Maria in my hand right now. I'll be able to play that out. But guys, I was probably going to have to use that this turn to not go down to 2 life, right? I mean, who knows? Maybe I would have taken it just so I could play out Black Maria next turn. But the idea is, it's still the same. Excuse me, I think they left a little bit early because my play next turn was just going to be swing 6, swing 12. They don't lose. They have 2 life. Even if they choose not to block or counter or anything, they're not losing the game right there. And then my follow-up is going to be with my remaining 5 Dawn. I'm going to play out the Black Maria, and then I'm going to sit on the 2-cost Nora Beam Sword. Right, and I'm going to go back up to 10 Dawn and then go from there. Well, actually, hang on. Could I have maybe tried? Well, no, they have enough counter power in hand. But I guess what I was going to... there's one more thing I was going to say is I guess I could have tried to go for lethal there by going, okay, so I'll be up to 6 Dawn, right? Okay, I only need 3 Dawn for my Black Maria. I could have swung for 8 to rip their life card, or to attack into them. They get a Bartolomeo, and then I can play out the Black Maria going all the way up to 10... excuse me, going all the way up to 10 Dawn. Dawn -7 with my leader effect, and then attack him with Kaido. But guys, they had They had more than enough there to get out of that 8K attack. Either way, good game to my opponent. They left a little bit early, but we did have a decent follow-up there where we weren't just going to, you know, how do I say this? We weren't just going to slam down Kaido and then we had nothing to do. We had the Black Maria that was going to sit on Nora Beam Sword, and then next turn we start slamming down the Lin-Lins and the Katakuris and going back down that route while having a 10K on the board. Good game to my opponent. Okay, next game. All right, we got a game versus Black Yellow Luffy. Volume is off. Speed is on 2x, and here we go. Notice down at the bottom, guys, I will just name these things like PK stands for Purple Kaido. Game number 2 versus BY Black Yellow Luffy. Game 0 against a Luffy. So it's like when I saw BYL, I was like, wait, I don't remember playing against Black Yellow Lin-Lin. That's because we didn't play against Black Yellow Lin-Lin. It's Black Yellow Luffy. All right, here we go. They start off pretty strong. They use the Flampe to draw some cards. They use the 1 cost event to draw into a 2 or 5 cost Sabo, Ace, or Luffy. And I should say a 5 cost or lower Sabo, Ace, or Luffy. And now they're playing out a Hiyori. They're setting cards into their life. They put a 5 cost Ace in there, obviously. They slam down the 2 cost Ace. They swing for 7. We have the perfect answer in this situation with God Thread, where we can actually get rid of that character and attach 2 Dawn and swing for 7, guys. They're going to counter out. That was probably a pretty wise decision there, because they can't just... How do I say this? For those who are not aware, for the newer players out there, let me pause and actually talk about this for a second, especially for the newer players out there. The way they used to play against Black Yellow Luffy is you did not attack into them. You did not attack in. You did not let them set up their leader effect early enough, you know, and you try to amass a board and then go from there. Well, this is not the same Black Yellow Luffy. They don't have Gecko Moria anymore, okay? And they don't have the new 5 cost Ace coming out soon. I think was it PRB? PRB 02. So they don't have all the options that they need, right, to really abuse the leader effect. So they actually have to counter out of these attacks into their leader, especially against something like Kaido, where I can technically burn a life card, right? And we can go about things that way. Okay, so here we go. They're going to play out a Garp here. They're starting off their turn 3. They're on 6 Dawn. They search with Garp. They're swinging for 5. We're not going to give them anything too greedily here because we're in a very good position, believe it or not. We're in a very good position. We're going to swing for 5. They'll probably take this. They were down to 4 cards in hand. We're going to play out the 9 cost Lin-Lin. We're going to push the Luffy to the bottom of their life, and now that's more stuff they have to deal with. The 9 cost Lin-Lin is actually very frustrating for Black Yellow Luffy to deal with when they don't have 0 life. Okay? So they're going to go ahead and play out a Makino to adjust their life cards just so they can get access to this Luffy. They had to give me a 2K counter just to do that, guys. Just to go down to 0 life, they had to give me a 2K counter. I know it's crazy backwards, like inverted logic, but that's the way it works. They use leader effect. They play out the Sabo, draw 2, trash 2. They're up to 9,000 power. We're going to gladly take this hit here. Excuse me. And notice their hand size, guys. They have 3 cards in their hand. They have 3 cards in hand. Okay, so it's turn 5 for us. And remember, guys, we went first and we're already on 10 Dawn because of our ramp. We're going to swing for 9 to start. They give me a 1K counter. They're down to 2 cards in hand. Let me clear my throat real quick, guys. Okay, sorry about that. So we swing for 9. They have to counter out or they lose that Luffy, and it doesn't go to their trash. It goes to the bottom of their deck per the leader's rules. We can't swing with our leader, but we have 2 Dawn active. We're threatening a Nora Beam Sword. It's literally in our trash, but they don't know. We don't have another Nora Beam Sword, so we're not going to be doing that. Now watch this. A mistake does happen here. A mistake does happen here, and we actually talked about it in the chat. He's about to play out a 1 cost Flampe. Okay, pause. Let me see if hopefully I mouse over the card. Nice. How does Flampe work? Flampe says you may add 1 card from the top or bottom of your life cards to your hand. Draw a card. That is part of the cost of this card, right? That's like the activation cost of this card. So, what does Black Yellow Luffy say though? Let me see if I hit backwards. If I mouse over the leader at all. I might not mouse over the leader at this point of the game. If I do, I'll try to pause really quickly. Okay, I'm showing the Luffy there. There's the Flampe. They should have used the Luffy just to do that, to trash that draw card. But again, I explained to them, that's why there's nothing going on right now. I was explaining to them in the chat, like, hey, that Flampe's condition is to, take your top life card, add it to your hand. And because of the way that the leader effect is worded, Black Yellow Luffy, any kind of card that goes into the life that's face up, it doesn't go to hand. It goes to the bottom of the deck unless it's, trashed or played off of an effect. Anything that would try to go to hand, it can't happen. And because that can't happen, the Flampe doesn't let them draw a card either. So because they made that mistake, they lost a 2K counter in hand. They were already in a bad position. We're going to take the 9K, and we're just going to get out of the rest, right? And at this point of the game, they have no way of gaining, power. Like, they can't go to a 7 or 9,000 power leader this turn, so they have no chance, right? We have lethal on board. You just swing 9, you swing 9, you swing 9, or 7, 7, 7 would have done the same thing. There's just no way to do it, but we also have the Usohachi. We're going to attack in. GG to my opponent. That was a lesson learned. That was a hard lesson to learn in that situation, but that's the nice thing about the sim, is you can learn all these interactions. The sim's made very well, where, the interactions work perfectly with the ruling in most cases. I know sometimes there's bugs and glitches and whatnot, but the rules are set in this game very, very well in the sim. So this is a great tool to learn those kind of interactions with those advanced, more technical interactions. Okay, good game to my opponent. Let's move on to Blue Yellow Nami. Okay, we got a game here versus Blue Yellow Nami. Volume is off, speed is on 2x, and here we go. Blue Yellow Nami. Okay, this is probably the most meta deck. This and Blue Black Usopp, probably the most meta decks that I went against today. I guess we did go against a Green Yellow Law, right? We were able to steal one from a Green Yellow Law. So Nami's going to go first. Turn 1, they had nothing. Turn 2, they're going to play out the Teach. They're going to swing for 6 with their leader. We're going to 2k counter out of that because I don't want them drawing free cards with their leader effect. Okay. So here we go. We're going to go ahead and play out the Mr. Tuban Cray Bentham. We're going to swing for 6. They only have 5 cards in hand. They're going to go ahead and take that and go up big time with their hand size. I think last turn they should have just attached Tudon to their leader with the Martial D Teach effect and drawn the card right back and put me on more pressure. I think that would have been the more technically accurate play there. Okay, they're going to play out a Zeus. They're down to 2 life already, guys. On turn, what is this, turn 3 for them? They're down to 2 life already from that Zeus. They do have a huge hand size right now. Like, they're drawing a lot of cards. They swing for 5. They swing for 6. We're going to take 1. We counter out the other, I believe. And here we go. Actually, I think we took both of this turn. So right here, we're going to Rampadon up to 5. And then I think we're going to swing 7 into 3. I don't want that card on the board. I'm fine with them not taking a hit right on this turn to life. I want to get that Martial D Teach off the board. Okay, so here we go, guys. That turn I could have used my Black Maria's effect, but then I would not be going up to 10 Dawn this turn for my Kaido, potentially, or even for like a 9-cost Luffy or whatever. Okay, so they use a Nojiko to bounce the Black Maria back to my hand, and now I think I'm actually going to counter out here and punish them in that way, because otherwise, we'd be losing a life here. Yeah, I think it was just safer to play it like that. Okay, so right here, we're going to swing for 5. Excuse me. Goodness. And we're going to slam down Luffy. We're going to draw a card and swing in for 10. We'll swing in for 11. I'm not going to threaten, like, oh, I might have one done up for Blast Breath. They don't care, right? It doesn't matter to them. They're just going to Red Rock it. So, that's why we swung in for 11, so it had a better chance of getting through. They did get a Kikanojo. They sat there with the Hiyori. They're going to swing for 6. We're going to 2k counter out of that. And here we go. They're going to swing for 7. We'll take it. And now it's back to our turn. Now, in this situation here, I don't really want to give them an extra life with attacking into Kikanojo. I'd rather just swing 5 into their leader. They have to trash a card with their leader effect from that. We're going to play out the Katakuri here and just pass the turn back. There's another Red Rock, so that's Red Rock number 2, right? We lost a 9-cost 10k, we lost an 8-cost AKA blocker, and here we go. We're kind of up against the ropes. They can swing 7, swing 8. So I am going to use my Hell's Judgment here. Dawn -1 doesn't really matter at this stage of the game. So now we counter out of that first attack, and we get out of the second one as well. Hell's Judgment there got us out of 2 really big attacks, a 7k and an 8k attack. Okay, so we swing for 5. This is probably just going to be a card out of hand. It would be a play mistake. Yeah, I was going to say it would be a play mistake to take this hit here, guys. There's no reason with Nami's leader effect active to take this hit. We're going to push the 4-cost Kikanojo back to hand, and we developed the Charlotte Linlin to gain a life and push the Kikanojo back to life. Excuse me, not to hand. Okay, so this game is shaping up very nicely here. Let me make sure the speed is on 2x, right? Yeah, we're on 2x speed, guys. A lot of these games ran pretty long today because notice how I'm building and playing the deck here. It's more of like a control deck. These games went pretty long today. All right, here we go. They developed an 8-cost 9k Eustace Captain Kidd. We're going to swing for 5. Just poke a card out of their hand. Okay, they give me a 1k counter, turning their leader into a 7,000 power leader for the turn. And now I think we're going to go ahead and play out the Katakuri, it looks like. So we had a few options here. But we do have to be able to block this turn, guys, against this Eustace Captain Kidd and the leader effect, or we just lose. So right here, I think we are going to Dawn -7 to get rid of that Kikanojo. So that way we're putting them on lethal next turn. Okay, at the end of our turn, we do get 1 Dawn back as active with the Katakuri. There's the 3rd Red Rock. They Red Rock our card off the board. They're going to swing for 9, and then they're going to swing for 9. So we're going to take this one. We get a God Thread there to Rampadon. That was way more important than it sounds, guys. That was actually very, very important. Okay, they're going to swing for 9 into 5, and we're not going to use Hell's Judgment here. We're going to use the 2K and then the 0 cost 3K to get up to 10. And now we have 1 extra Dawn this turn. We really have 2 extra Dawn because I thought I was going to have to use the Hell's Judgment. And guys, we're up to 7 here. We are going to swing for 5 just to get a card out of hand for their leader effect, which will pump them up to 7. Who cares? And then we're going to swing everything with our leader. Okay, smashing in 16 into 7. Look at this, guys. 1K, 1K. Watch what they get to. They got to 16. Or we got to 16. They got to 15. If we had to go Dawn -1 that turn, and if we did not get the God Thread trigger, that was cutting it very close. That's all I'm going to say. Good game to my opponent. We were able to get through there, guys, even through 3 red rocks, right? Through 3 red rocks. Good game to my opponent. That was a tough one. All right, one more game. We got a surprise, bonus game here at the end versus blue-purple Hannyabal. That's right, guys. Volume is off. Speed is on 2x, and here we go. Hannyabal in action. They just ramped the Dawn with their leader effect, pulling back the 2 cost Domino, I think it was. We have no turn 1 play. We're swinging in for 8. They take it. They're going to swing for 5. We're going to 2K counter out. They play out the Mino Rhinoceros, use leader effect. They ramp up a Dawn again. Okay. That Mino Rhinoceros is a draw 2, trash 1 on KO. So they got the draw a card, trash a card. With when we used God Thread, we swing in for 6. And guys, this is actually a pretty crazy looking game, right? This seems like a pretty even, pretty fair game. So they just did what, guys? Hang on, pause. Did y'all see that? That new Hannyabal. So they did a Hannyabal Searcher, the 1 cost purple Searcher. That's been in the game for a while. But then watch this, guys. They're going to play out a Hannyabal into a Sadie, into a Mino Zebra, pulling back the Sadie to hand and going from there. Incredible. Wow, that board flood is wild. Okay, but hey, we've got something to say about that too, right? We're not just going to go down without a fight here. We're going to swing for 6. I could have done things a little differently here. I'm just going to develop I think I'm going to develop 2 Bon Carrés. I could have swung for 7, but did they take it or did they give me a 2K? If they gave me a 2K, I prefer that anyway. That's fine. Okay, Sadie smashing in. Okay, then they play out the Mino Zebra here, or excuse me, they attack in for 12 with Mino Zebra just to banish my life card. I don't really care. That's fine with me, right, guys? That's completely fine. But now I have a target on the board. Okay, we're going to swing 5 into this 3 times, right? They just let it go. They're like, okay, we're not going to let that happen. Very smart of them, very wise, because we were just going to keep attacking in. So one big problem with flooding the board is, look at this, guys. They had like 8 or 9 cards in hand. They're down to 4 cards now after that turn and after defending. We're going to play out the 9 cost Linlin. We gain a life. We push the card into life. They play out a 9 cost Kaido. They're going to attack in for 10. We're going to take that. They swing in for 6. We're going to 2K out of this one. And now at the end of their turn, they're going to pull back Sadie to ramp a Dawn. Very nice synergy with the Dawn minus effects here. We go 5 into 2, get all these cards off the board. I don't want them to have any extra attackers, guys. I got to get all that off the board. So we swing in for 9. They take that. We're going to Dawn -1. We're going to Charlotte Linlin, Dawn -1, trash a card to gain a life and push the Magellan into life. Or excuse me, the Hannyabal into life. And here we go, guys. They keep flooding this board. What is this? What is this sorcery? This is insanity. In this situation, guys, they have 2 blockers on the board. I'm not going to get rid of that Kaido. That Kaido is not going anywhere. So we're going to swing 5. They take it. That was very greedy. We're going to swing 9 and swing 9. They'll probably give me a blocker here, I would imagine. Because I do have my leader effect, right? That's a little scary for them. But let's see what happens. I was thinking about attacking into the Kaido just to force a blocker, but hey, they ended up giving me one anyway. We're going to stand these up in a turn. And guys, this is a dangerous turn for me. Okay, I almost lose the game here, guys. They swing for 10. They should have swung in the correct order. They could have potentially won their swing 5, 5, 10. But I think they might leave the Mina Koala up as a blocker. Okay, so we took it. We tried to bait them into doing that, but I don't think it's going to matter in this situation, guys, because what we're going to do here, I could load up a bunch of stuff on the leader in this situation and attack in first, but guys, then they just take the hit and I can't use the leader effect. So what we're going to do instead is play out the Luffy to get another 10k attacker on the board. Dawn -1 to draw a card. I guess we shouldn't even have done the Dawn -1 if Rush wasn't a part of it. And then we Dawn -7 with leader. We swing 6. That gets a 2k. Swing 9. Swing 9. Swing 10. They get out of the first 9. They're going to block out of this one. Swinging in for 10. Good game to my opponent. That is a very, very spicy deck there, guys. Look at that. They had a 9 cost Kaido and a 10 cost Kaido in hand. Good game to my opponent. That was a lot of fun. Really cool deck list there, seeing blue-purple Hannyabal in action. All right. Okay, guys, so here's the list. Again, I don't know if you noticed or not, but we really didn't get any interactions out of the Rosinante. It was basically just a 1k counter in hand most of the time. At least that's what it felt like. So I think moving forward with the list, I'm probably going to drop Rosinante. The Hell's Judgment was nice. We didn't really come up against Blast Breath at all, so we might go -2 of those. And maybe we go... I'm not gonna lie, I liked having all of this top end, guys. This was a lot of fun. We'll have to see, though. I'm going to go -1 Hell's Judgment and -1 Nora Nora Beam Sword because we have to really decide which one we want to do that's better. Hell's Judgment is very strong into decks that go very wide on the board, whereas Nora Nora Beam Sword is decent against decks that go wide on the board, but it's better against the decks that go really tall on the board. So we'll have to make up our decisions on that. For the time being, I'll just put in Hell's Judgment because just to keep everything nice and neat on the screen. Okay. And now that gives us 8 spots. And I think what I'm really considering doing is putting in this pudding here. Okay, so you know what? They made it where this pudding can search up itself. That is nice. That is really nice, guys. So it says, look at the top 5 cards of your deck and reveal up to 1 cost 2 or greater Big Mom Pirates type card and put it into your hand. So we are probably, like next time I mess with this deck, we're probably going to mess around with this card. And then also the 3 cost pudding as well to help us out with any kind of Dawn Minus stuff we might need to do along the way. And if that's the case, maybe we should introduce more Dawn Minus stuff if we're going to run this card as opposed to just having our leader. And I know a lot of people are thinking like, well, why aren't you running the Onigashima, the stage? I just don't want to run it, guys, because it's one of those cards where it's like if you don't see it on curve, then it's a brick later in the game. And when you do see it on curve, it's decent, but at the same time, you know, I have a lot of ramp already built in. Like, I would actually rather see this card early on just to ramp up as quickly as I can and go from there. But it's something to at least consider. I will say it's definitely something to consider. I don't think we necessarily need this Kaido. In fact, -2 of that Kaido right away. I just want to say that's like the first thing I want to do is actually remove those 2 Kaidos, and we can probably go up the 9 cost Kaido because. Now, we can't search it up with this, but we can, if we run the event, we can search it up with the event, it's time to claim the One Piece or whatever it's called. There could be some options there. At the same time, though, we don't want to be too heavy on on events, and we might even want to go -2 of the Hell's Judgment. Since we're running so many top-end bricks, guys, we might actually want to go 4 of the 0 cost event. Because, guys, in this deck, we're running 4, 8, 12, 16 bricks in the deck. There are 16, I guess technically 20. There's really 20 bricks in the deck, guys. There's 20 bricks in the deck. So it's like maybe we should run 4 this 0 cost event, and then we still have 2 spots open. See, that's where it's like, let me type in Big Mom, or just Mom brings up all the Big Mom Pirates cards. Maybe instead of running the 10 cost Kaido and the Kaido, maybe we run the 10 cost Kaido and Linlin instead of just the 10 cost Kaido. Another option, we can't really run this because we don't have Big Mom Pirates type, so we don't get rushed with this. But I'm sure there's something else we can mess with. This requires Big Mom Pirates as well. We have this card in. It would be nice to have like a Dawn Minus effect somewhere in this mid game to get some kind of value from this pudding, or else there's no reason to run the card. And who knows, maybe there is no reason to run the card, to be fair. Maybe we should run something else here. But I'm just kind of thinking out loud, guys, giving you guys my thoughts. Y'all tell me what y'all think in the comment section below. But I think we might be onto something here, guys. I think there could be something here. Maybe we introduce other ways to ramp. You know, maybe we run something like the 4 cost blocker. What's their name? The Charlotte Brule might be something here. And what else? There's also some just good, you know, purple has some really good 2K counters. We're already running the Black Maria, the Usohachi, and the Sanji, but I don't know if the Sanji is going to be worth running. It doesn't really help us all that much. So maybe in the place of it, we find a 2K counter that's searchable in the Big Mom Pirate stuff. And if that's the case, I think we can go with something like, you know, even something like this 6 cost 7K or this 5 cost 6K. I know that sounds crazy, guys. Hang on, I'm going to do it. I know it sounds crazy, but this might be a decent inclusion because there was a game where it was like, man, I have like nothing to play on turn 5. Now, yes, you can play Sanji on turn 6 if you need to, and it's a blocker. But hopefully you guys know what I'm saying. It's not quite the same. But we'll have to see. There's just some ideas here. We're just throwing out ideas, just kind of spitballing here. Tell me what y'all think in the comment section below. Probably the best option would maybe be this Strusen, but it has that you have to declare a cost to do the guess here. Hang on, let me see this one. Okay, maybe we run this Charlotte Mont Dior. I have no idea, guys. Maybe we just don't have any good enough 2K counters to search up with Kaido right now. We'll have to figure it out later. Let me at least leave up the standard list we were running today. Tell me what you guys think about this in the comment section below. I am going to end it here. Very fun leader. Let me recap on the leader real quick. I think it's very fun, but it is somewhat gimmicky. And it seems like, you guys tell me if y'all feel the same way. I feel like Bandai is actually moving away from Animal Kingdom Pirates right now. Who knows? They might revisit it in the future. But it seems like Bandai doesn't want to give any kind of purple Animal Kingdom Pirates support right now. I don't know why. I guess, again, like I said, maybe in the future they'll do it, but it seems like right now we're kind of at a dead spot right now when it comes to purple Animal Kingdom Pirates. I feel like we haven't gotten any good, you know, AKP or Animal Kingdom Pirate support in quite some time. All right, I'm done. Hope y'all enjoyed. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Let me get the outro page on here real quick. Guys, if you are liking, subscribing, sharing, commenting, viewing, or even just using my TCG Player affiliate link, whatever you're doing to help me out, I really appreciate it, guys. If you're donating through Patreon or PayPal, if you're a Playmat supporter, a YouTube member, part of the Discord community, whatever you're doing to help me out, guys, I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Whatever you're doing to help out the community, thank you so much, guys. All right, I'm done. Hope you enjoyed. Till next time, guys. Peace.